Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today, at the moment of when this is being published, is Friday, September 22nd, although I recorded this on Wednesday, September 19th. September 20th, sorry about that. In any event, this is being pre-scheduled because it is Rosh Hashanah on yesterday, Thursday, and Friday today. And I am offline completely, so anybody who is celebrating and watching this later, or on whatever, have a happy and healthy new year, and let's get into the topics. So the past week we had, at least I reported about two specific algorithm updates around Google search. One happened on the 16th, which was around Saturday, and the other one happened on Wednesday morning, which was today, the 20th, I guess. And there's a lot of chatter, or heavy chatter, specific within certain types of segments. It doesn't seem that widespread, but there are people who are noticing significant changes. Lots of comments around those significant changes, but it's in terms of how many people are actually noticing that, it's fairly limited in terms of that notice rate. So it's not so widespread, but it definitely does seem to be some type of update there. Google said, or Gary from Google said, that the search monitoring tools like Mozcast, Rank Ranger, Alguru, the list goes on, do tend to get it right. This is coming out of the Brighton SEO conference. Here's some quotes from different people who were in the attendance where Gary was speaking. Gary from Google said, most of the time these tools do get it right. They nearly always get it right. Somebody else quoted them and said Mozcast is his favorite and so forth. And he goes in comments that, yeah, they do a pretty good job. Sometimes they catch things that Google thinks are pretty low intensity, while often they don't necessarily catch things that are the high intensity and so forth. So it's pretty interesting to see Google comment about that. This is the first nice thing Google has said regarding these weather tracking tools in the search index. Google said there is no such thing as three top search ranking signals. This came from Gary and from John Mueller, basically saying we didn't give a top three. Actually said it very much depends on the query and the results, which signals count more. He also said at Brighton there are a ton of top results that don't have links at all, billions of queries a day, lots of long tails without links. We also use many factors for ranking. It really depends on the query. John Mueller said, in my opinion, there's no top three list. We use links, but a lot of other things as well. Again, that comes off of what was said a year or so ago from a Googler who said their top three were links, content, and RankBrain. And why they're not no top three? So I got into it in detail, about a 7-minute conversation between myself and John Mueller, which is all recorded, specifically talking about how algorithms dynamically change, or different algorithms are dynamically weighted more over other ones based on the query and the context. So if you're doing a search for a local one, obviously local is more important. You're doing a search for a certain type of hurricane and something is trending right now, the query deserves freshness and other types of things come into play. Industries that are spammed more maybe have different weights on links and so forth. And I go into that in detail. You definitely want to take a look at that video when you have time because it's fairly interesting. Google says they don't use click data for search rankings directly, and this is going back on a post that I wrote last week where the head of Google Brain in Toronto said they do use clicks for ranking and so forth. So it's fairly interesting to say, they said over and over again that they don't use click data, pogo sticking, and so forth for directly in search rankings. John Mueller said that is correct. They do not use it directly in search rankings, but they do use it, like I said before, around testing to see which algorithms are actually having a good result or a bad result. So, but they're not using it specifically to say this site should rank higher because it has more clicks, or or lower because people just jump back and forth between the search results. Google also said that the shopping cart abandonment rate is not a ranking factor. So if people go to your shopping cart and leave all the time, that's definitely not a search ranking factor. It's not good for your site, of course. It's not a good conversion metric, but it's not a ranking factor, says John Mueller. Google said they do not manually review every single search spam report that is sent to them. I thought they actually did, because in the past Google said they do review all those spam reports, and they actually review them fairly quickly. But John Mueller said, no, we don't manually review every single or all spam reports, he said. Again, that's a pretty interesting thing. Google said that their algorithms don't look at disavow files for coming up with new spam targets. The disavow file is only used to ignore links pointing to your website. It's not used to go ahead and collect a spam database of some sorts to make figuring out which sites are spamming easier for Google. Google said that's too easy of a target for negative SEO with black hats. Google said if your site's responsive, you don't really need to worry about the mobile first index. Your site should be fine. Again, the whole make sure your pages are equivalent is the most important thing, and typically responsive websites are equivalent from page to page. Google said chatbots don't necessarily make your pages better. In fact, John Mueller said that he finds most chatbots to be not so useful and a little bit annoying. John Mueller said most chatbots I really see are basic and useless. And he says, don't think about adding chatbots to a page will make your page automatically better, especially in search. It has no impact necessarily in search. It just might annoy your users and try to keep them on there. Google AdWords has updated their terms and conditions for their ad network. So if you don't supposedly agree to those terms within 45 days of being notified, Google could then go ahead and pause your campaigns. Google highlighted specific things that change with the terms, but also Good ROI in Webmaster World said the new things that stood out for him was that Google can test campaigns without notifying advertisers, dispute settlements by binding arbitration as opposed to law, going to court, can block advertisers from joining class action lawsuits, and so forth. Of course, Google documented certain things that they want you to know, such as joining the EU General Data Protection Acts and so forth, which is new in the EU. Google is testing indoor maps directly in the local panel, which is pretty cool. So if you do a search for White House, some of you may see this new indoor map right in the White House knowledge panel, which is pretty cool. I don't see it myself. Google is testing a beta for auto ads, automatic AdSense ads, where they could actually go ahead and place ads on your website automatically. I haven't tested it out myself, but people are definitely interested in trying it out. And Google's AdSense ad balance tool, which launched a few months ago, is having some issues. It was up, it was down. I think it's back down now. You'll see this little issue here where it says ad balance is under maintenance. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Google actually announced that it's back, and I went to it. It's not back, it's down, and Google will remove that notice that it's back. In any event, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. Again, the day this was published was Friday, September 22nd. This was recorded on Wednesday, September 20th. My name again is Barry Schwartz. All those celebrating Rosh Hashanah, have a happy and healthy New Year. I'll see you guys next week, and everyone have a great weekend. Bye.